What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 15 Lineup Advice Show. I am your Shepard. I am joined by these two handsome gentlemen right over here. We're welcoming back this SoCal ball nerd, a.k.a. The Wolf. You know him from our previous shows on Sundays. He has been instrumental prior to this season and our launch, and I'm thrilled to have him joining us in this most critical crunch time of parts of the season, point to the season. And of course, you know, the man himself needs very little introduction right there. His name says it right there on the hat. All right, guys. I mean, look, this is a big time. Yep. I don't know about any of you guys, but yeah, I got the butterflies. I really do. I mean, like they happen every once in a while. You know, maybe on a Monday night when you're down by 5, you get a little butterfly action. You get the butterflies while you're drafting back in, July and August, especially in a live draft, you get those butterflies. But now you got the butterflies. How do you guys feel heading into the Week 15 playoff slate? Playoffs for most of us. How do you feel?
I mean, it's a little different than those weeks because there's usually always next week, right? So, I mean, there's just that sense of, it could all be over, after, Sunday afternoon, Monday night. I mean, 2 games Monday night, so good chance, might play into that. But, yeah, that's the big difference. It's just it could be Monday night could be the end of it and put a lot of work into those teams. I know we all have, a good amount of teams. So hopefully, regardless, we're still playing for something after this week, or it would be very disappointing to end all the seasons at once. But that's what it's for, right? That's what we play, to get in, have a chance, and here we are. So
that is 100% correct. This is why we do it. This is, it's a game. It's fun. It's gives us for many, a means of occupation. Okay, like I don't mean like a job per se, but to occupy our time, to occupy our minds. It's a means of occupations, and it becomes thrilling in terms of what's going on in your minds in this occupation. Jonsey, how do you feel heading into Week 15? I mean, I know one major team of yours in the Scott Fishbowl, correct? Is yes in the Scott. All right, so I mean, I wasn't
still
sure.
Rolling.
I wasn't sure if those. I kind of felt like that was the Scott Fishbowl. Sure, nevertheless, sure. Big time, right? This would be a big cut this week.
Yep, it's down to top 500 right now. So
yeah.
I was at like 300 or so going into this week. So it's not. I don't feel great, but I don't feel horrible. It's like I'm like right in the middle of everyone left. So it's could push either way.
And Jonsey, tell the goats who may not be familiar, like where approximately how many, members or how many participated to start.
Scott Fishbowl. I think it's like
I could tell you if you like without looking.
If you know it, I'm gonna look it up.
I do know it. It was plus or minus around the 4,000. Yeah. Total participants that signed up that played in the Scott Fishbowl. So take that number, so divide 12 into that. That's how many leagues or divisions there were. And then, you clinched playoffs either by getting to 13 wins, which was a few weeks ago, or by meeting the points threshold. So Jonsey, our very own Jones a goat, is now.
It's been fun. I mean, this is year 1 for me doing it, and I was excited to join, and I got the invite, and it's just been kind of learning as I go and seeing how this league works. And I mean, it's fun because it's it's a charity league, so that makes it the best. There's nothing that you get for winning it except for
pride.
Hey, good job,
pride.
But that's okay,
Yeah.
It's not always about winning money,
Yeah.
It's about just helping people out, doing some charity, and that's what Scott Fishbowl is about.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, no, pride, bragging, that to me is that may supersede actual prize amount.
Yeah.
That we leave reserved for like your home league.
Yep.
In any event, Goats, let's get right to it. I know that you're waiting, you're anticipating this upcoming Sunday slate. And again, we've got the SoCal Wolf here with us, and let's just get right to it. Emil Goat with Njoku and Tillman out. Would you start Elijah Moore over the Devontae Smith? So who wants to take this one first?
Has Njoku officially been ruled out?
I know Tillman has been ruled out.
I know Tillman has. Okay.
I know Tillman has.
I know there's been a lot of talk about Njoku being out, and I looked today and I thought they were going to push it to game time or something like that, but I wasn't sure because I have Njoku also, so that's why I was asking.
The Njoku warrior.
Someone
else just deals with injuries.
I personally, I'm probably rolling with Smith. I mean, as much as Elijah Moore's been good, I mean, this is go time. You know, who am I going to trust? Jameis Winston throwing the ball or Jalen Hurts? It's
Devontae Smith's not a bad consolation here.
Yeah. I mean, if it was Devontae Smith versus, I don't want to say Cooper Kupp, but
you can say Cooper Kupp because the answer would have been Cooper Kupp.
The
results were just wrong. This
against Elijah Moore. I mean,
yeah.
I don't the Browns playing the Chiefs. I mean, they're gonna have to put up points, but I have a hard time trusting the Browns in the playoffs right now. Other than Njoku, honestly, if he's healthy, because he's been a target monster.
You don't trust Jerry Jeudy right now?
I mean, with Tillman out, I trust Jeudy more than I do Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I don't. Personally,
if this question was Devonta Smith or Jerry Jeudy, it'd be tougher for me.
Yeah, I don't think Emil has Jerry Jeudy though.
Yeah.
No, he's got Elijah Moore or Devontae Smith. And according to the NFL Network.com, NFL.com, he did not practice, still listed as questionable.
Yeah, he hasn't been practicing.
He's not ruled out officially. That's Njoku.
Yes. Yeah.
Wolf, would you go with Elijah Moore, Elijah Slot, or Devontae Smith? Who, by all accounts, I mean, like he's had an up and down season, but that's the status quo for Devontae Smith, and not that it has always been his fault. It's actually never his fault, except for one game missed due to injury. It's never his fault. It's just the fact of the nature of the Eagles' offense. But, well, A.J. Brown's not having a very good season now, is he?
Yeah, I mean, I can paint you a picture of why you should start Elijah Moore over Devontae Smith, but
okay, okay, please.
I mean, Jalen Hurts hasn't exactly been spectacular throwing the football, and A.J. Brown is. I mean, you got to think A.J. They can both have a week though. That's the thing, right? I mean, Jonsey kind of said it right in the beginning. Devontae's the better player. He's the name. He's the talent. He's the guy. And if you want to go down, trust in the better player and the better team, like it's Devontae. And I'm good with that. I think I can probably lay my head a little easier if Devontae lets me down over Elijah Moore. Because it's like, if I play Elijah Moore and he lets me down, it's like, I knew it. If Devontae lets me down, it's like, okay, Devontae's still a dog,
it's like playing Cooper Kupp. You're playing him, and then he gets a zero, but that was the play to do,
Yeah, if Njoku's out, and Tillman, I can understand why you might go that route. Like, I don't think Cleveland's able to really run the football. I do expect Kansas City to soak up a lot of time running the football. I don't think this will be – I mean, the Chiefs – it's week 15. The Chiefs aren't exactly putting up points against anybody. I don't think you're looking at a shootout either. So, I mean, he should get some targets, right? Judy's going to get involved. I mean, I think there's a world where here's how I would look at it after all that. If they both get 6 targets, I want Devontae Smith. And I don't think there's a guarantee that Moore sees more than 6. And even in Devontae's games where he doesn't play well, he's usually seeing 6 targets. So I just, it's closer than you would imagine, but I think I just am going to trust Devontae Smith. I'm going to trust he has a better chance at getting in the end zone. I think you have to roll with Devontae here.
I would roll with Devontae in this situation. Emil Goat, let us know.
Winston could throw the ball to Judy 15 times. I mean, it wasn't like, even the Broncos, they didn't put Sutton on him all day, right? Like, so, Judy could see 15 targets and Moore could see the 4 he saw last week. I don't want that.
If Njoku is out, it becomes a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
But if Njoku plays, to me, it's Smith all day.
All day. Yep.
I'm sure there's got to be there's someone else there that will garner a few targets as well. I mean, it won't just be like the Jerry Judy Elijah Moore show. As much as Jameson Winston's going to pass, which we know, pass to the other team as well. I think there's a you're talking about a different tier of football player when it comes to Devontae Smith over Elijah Moore, which I think we're all alluding to. So yeah, Emil, I think it's Devontae Smith here. Tommy Goat, how are you? It's in a full PPR. He needs to sit either Ladd, Scary, Terry, Tyreek, or Mike Evans. SoCal, do you want to go in the full pick? Well, Ladd is still questionable also. I know that right off the bat. Scary Terry coming off of the bye. In a pretty decent matchup. Pretty decent. Then of course you've got the Cheetah in Houston. Mike Evans. And the Buccaneers are playing.
They're playing the Chargers.
They're playing the Chargers. All right. And that could be kind of like kind of sort of tough. Mike Evans not playing 100%. We know that. Tyreek and the Dolphins are playing better. That passing volume has gone up or has increased for both Dolphin wide receivers. Then again, Ladd's questionable. Scary Terry playing. Commanders have. I should probably.
Commanders play the Saints.
Who are you sitting? Who are you sitting?
I don't like the Evans news either. I know he was taken off the injury report. I mean, a hamstring for Mike Evans is like the last thing you want to hear.
That's the same hamstring.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same injury.
And was he hampered last week by it, where he didn't really do too much in that game? I know they ran the ball well, right? It was the Rashad White show, and obviously McMillan stole the touchdowns. I'm not going to say that Jalen McMillan's going to be the same this week, right? And Ladd, same thing. The thing with Ladd, at least so far, if Ladd plays, I think he's good to go. I think I'm playing Tyreek and Terry regardless. And I think both, it's who they are, what they've been. You see what Miami did last week. We saw Hill and Waddle get involved in this game. That Dolphins offense, we remember how good they were when they were getting these guys involved, and they showed some signs of that. And so, Jonsey, you weren't sitting Tyreek when he wasn't doing this. So I think he's in your lineup. Terry's the guy over there. They just signed who did Washington just sign that got waived? KJ Osborne, right? Noah Brown. It's the Terry show. I know they're going to run the football, but Terry's been so good. He's one of the top receivers so far. And so the injuries kind of make me pick the other two as well as just this list of players. Again, if Mike Evans is a full go, it's hard, man. Ladd has been really good when he's on the football field. And if he goes, I don't think that there's anything holding Ladd back. And the Buccaneers are an amazing matchup. And the Chargers have nobody else. We saw this against the Chiefs. Stone Smart was out here catching footballs. They don't have – Quinton's okay. But
Stone.
Mike Evans is so good, man. I think that Ladd has a better matchup, and I think he'll get a ton of volume if he's there, and the Chargers can't run the football. But I don't know if I can sit Mike Evans, man. I think if Evans is good to go, I think same thing. I'm playing just the proven player in Mike Evans, and I'm probably sitting Ladd.
I agree. I mean, when you look at it, like you said, Terry, Tyreek, 100%. Those are your 1-2. And then when it comes down to Evans and Ladd, they're both battling injuries. They're both having issues. I'm taking the better talent, and that better talent is Mike Evans all day long, no question. It also comes down to that Chargers offense has been different the past few weeks.
Without JK?
Yes. They're having
and
issues.
Herbert's on the Herbert's banged up a little bit too.
So I'm looking at, okay, so if they get a lead, they're just going to sit on the ball. They're not. I don't see this being a very high scoring game. But if I'm going to choose one, it's going to be Evans all day. I'm never sitting Mike Evans if he's healthy, ever. So.
And if these teams have, let's say, 3 trips to the red zone apiece, who do you trust more to get a touchdown?
Oh, Mike Evans for sure.
Yeah, not even close, right?
Yeah. The one thing with Mike Evans this year is, have we even seen one of his 150 and 2-3 touchdown games? He always has those. I can't remember one yet this year, unless I'm just missing it. But
it might have been
maybe early. There might have
been
one.
Might have been
where Ladd has Ladd put up a couple touchdown games, yes. But who do I trust more to do that? At the end of the day, I'm going to trust Mike Evans more.
Yeah, I think you also said it best, though. I mean, not that this isn't a difficult choice. But you said as long as Mike Evans is healthy, I'm going to start him. I think by Mike Evans' own admission, he's not fully healthy. We know he's off the injury report.
Yeah, but Ladd McConkey's
Ladd McConkey's
on the injury report every single week.
Ladd
McConkey, in and out of games all the time. I mean,
Ladd is not 100% either. He's not. That's why the decision is not an easy one. And I also think that, maybe Tommy Goat is kind of like, he may be quote unquote struggling with this one because of what we all witnessed yesterday, where you've got a perceived 100% health in Cooper Kupp, and there was a donut. So now with Mike Evans, okay, fine, he's going to play, he's active. It seems as if this would be an excellent spot for him. All right. So, he has 4 catches for 50 yards, 70 yards. It winds up being like a 10-point game. I guess you're going to have to live with that. You would have to live with that. And hope that that's just the floor. That's stat line. So, yeah, I get it. It's not easy. The Tyreek, the scary, both check marks. That's the easy one. Ladd, Mike Evans.
And for what it's worth, the sportsbooks have Ladd, clearing 5.5 catches and clearing, 70 plus yards. It looks like he's, based on those lines, they're expecting him to expose this matchup. That's why this question's being asked, because he's the only Charger receiver and the Buccaneers' pass defense is awful. Those 2 things line up to make us question that with Mike Evans' health. And the sports books agree. They have Evans, at 4.5 and at 63.5.
Now being the resident LA Charger here, that Herbert has tried to connect with Palmer for the last 2-3 weeks on deep balls, and they've been sailing over Palmer's head into the first row of the seats. I don't know if Palmer is slowed down or if Herbert is overthrowing him. Nevertheless, they are attempting to connect with Palmer, and they have not been successful so far in the last 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks, I've seen this with my own eyes. And now, yes, I mean, Ladd not playing last week does, obviously lends to that. Quentin Johnson 2 weeks ago, I believe, was the game where he was dropping balls all over the place. So that lends to that. So, yeah. I mean,
you got to kind of look at it this way, though, too. I mean, we're talking about his third wide receiver.
In Palmer?
No. Going back to Evans and
right.
Tommy's wide receiver 3 in this situation. Yeah. Yes.
When you have a Tyreek and a scary Terry, that third one, you can take a little more risk.
It's true.
So why not risk the Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, that's what it comes down to. Even whatever the lines say, whatever the matchup says, like that's nobody's shocked if Ladd comes out. Nobody's sitting here right now is shocked if Ladd has a great game.
Yeah. Ask yourself this. To me, they have this, Mike Evans and Ladd have the same kind of floor. 3 catches, 4 catches for 50 yards, maybe. I think that's what we would expect at least. But ask yourself, who has the higher ceiling? Who can do that 150 and 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns? Can you realistically say you see Ladd McConkey and that Chargers offense right now doing that? Or can you say I would see Mike Evans doing that?
And Mike Evans has done it multiple times.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And that would be my tiebreaker, is I think you can get similar floors out of both of them, but who's the higher ceiling?
Yeah. And with the Bucs defense, I mean, like you said, I think you're going to see those same shots, right? The secondary is bad all over the field. So they're going to try to get Palmer deep. They're going to get Quentin involved. It's not like they try to go away from those guys. So, it's they might not have to try to feed Ladd the same way, right? And if I'm facing a tough defense, who am I trying to feed? Mike Evans or Jalen McMillan? Or a tight end that hasn't been great and against the defense that stops tight ends. Chargers have allowed 1 touchdown to the tight end position and are phenomenal. So I'm going to throw the ball to my best player. I'll be yelling at the TV all the time, man. Throw it to Jamar. Throw it to CD. Just throw it to him. Same thing should be for Evans. Tough defense, I'm going to feed my best player. So,
and also for the Tommy Goat, pick one kicker, Aubrey or Fairbairn, and pick one quarterback, Jordan Love or Jameis Winston. Well, Jordan Love doesn't throw to the other team like Jameis does. So if you could live with the turnovers and the negative points out of Jameis Winston versus Jordan Love up in Seattle, the kicker part, you could flip a coin. Which are they both indoors? They're both indoors, right? Right. So
Aubrey as Carolina, I think it is.
Aubrey's at Carolina. Fairbairn's.
Oh yeah.
Fairbairn's.
I would
Miami. So I would go Fairbairn.
I would go with Fairbairn as well. Jordan Love or Jameis Winston?
Love all day.
Probably go with Love.
Like you were saying, I mean, everyone expects Winston to throw multiple interceptions in any game he plays. So you take a good game and you take, what's interceptions usually -2, throws a couple picks, -4, you're almost taking a whole touchdown, or you are taking a touchdown off, with his turnovers. If he has a mediocre game and turnovers, I mean, Jordan Love can turn the ball over too, but it just comes down to who do you trust. And like I said before, this is the playoffs. This is the time, you play who you trust. You want to get cute, you're going to be sitting and watching next week probably.
Well, the Goats aren't going to be sitting and watching. The Goats are going to be playing based on the lineup advice that we give the Goats. Yeah, I mean, I would put, if it's a matter of trust, I would trust the Green Bay Packers and that offense with Jordan Love versus a reckless Jameis Winston. I mean, you're gonna get the yardage and you're gonna get a touchdown or 2 maybe, and then you're gonna get turnovers as well, and that sucks. And again, so Jordan Love may throw a pick, but they will figure it out where like the plays that are called won't be in like really shitty situations where like the ball will has a higher percentage of being like, picked off. That's the way. That's the way I would look at it. It's a smarter ball club.
Yeah, I mean, any player obviously can get you a 0. I mean, but you just got to look at who puts you in the better situation, who gives you the better opportunity, and that's the player you roll with. I mean, you're never gonna guess who the highest scoring players are going to be every week. If you could do that, you'd be on a beach somewhere and be making billions of dollars. And I mean billions. So you just pick the situation that's going
to, just imagine if the Browns were to, kind of take the ball out of his hand. Like just try to attempt to, because again,
kind of like the Bills did with Josh Allen.
They're playing a tough defense, so like kind of like take the ball out of it.
They limited the turnovers.
Like we don't want to make you look so silly anymore, because you become like the laughing stock of the league with all your turnovers and all your goofiness after the fact. So I mean, imagine that. Now you're talking about not a very good game at all. Not at all. Emil also need a tight end. Brenton Strange, Isaiah Likely, or the Muth. Well, to me, it's Pat Frymuth.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Pat Frymuth.
Yeah, and especially no Pickens. I mean,
I know Evan Ingram is out, or most likely out, so that's why Brenton Strange is now being asked on, and Isaiah Likely is Mark Andrews. Not playing in this game?
No, man.
Mark Andrews will be playing in this game, and the Giants actually pretty good, very good against tight ends. I still expect Andrews. I mean, you're playing Mark Andrews no matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you do in SoCal with that Love Winston?
So I will just say kickers matter. I'm on Fairbairn too. It's not a question for me on that one, just to throw that on there. It's kind of like these first couple, man. Like there's a lot of me that wants to play Jameis Winston because the Chiefs defense hasn't been the same defense they were the first half of the season. I mean, they are giving up a lot more yards. They're not the same efficient type of team per play. And we just saw what the Browns went into Denver and did right offensively. So, and Love's got to go to Seattle. But it's hard for me to pull that trigger. Love is like the guy that, I mean, I took Love to be the quarterback of my team. Winston was nowhere near my team, right? Like if this is my roster. And I agree. Like, I think it might be getting a little too cute. And like, can I live with the wheels falling off with Jameis Winston if that happens? Like,
if it was a Winston versus Darnold or something, I could, I'd be a little more on board. But you're going into, trust.
My issue, I think, too, is like, I don't really expect Love to have a phenomenal game. I mean, I think that game, Seattle's been a little bit better defensively as well. I mean, Love's not going to throw the picks like Winston. I'm not too high on either guy this week. I don't think those games are going to be high scoring affairs. But if you're talking about who do I trust more, I do trust Love more. I mean, and I expect the Chiefs to thoroughly run the ball down this Browns team's throat and control the clock and win probably an ugly game, which means if the Browns are scoring 2 touchdowns, you're hoping Winston throws both. And if he throws 2 picks, if Love throws 2, he probably throws no picks or 1, maybe rushes the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
I lean Love. I'm not too high on either guy this week. I think Seattle's been, pretty good. And I don't think it's an unfortunate week probably for Love too, as far as being a top 10 type quarterback. But I think the theme so far has been we're just trusting the better player, right? Devontae, yep. Mike Evans, Jordan Love.
Commanders or Broncos, and I'm playing a guy who had cup. Well, you're playing the guy who had cup. So you're already starting off pretty nicely. Yeah, the Broncos are. Here's what's interesting about this game. Both teams are coming off of the bye. So both of them kind of like regroup, resaddling up. They're both in the playoff chase. This should be a pretty good game. We're hoping that this is going to be a good game for Anthony Richardson. We're hoping that this will be a good game for Bo Nix. I think I would still take the Commanders here, though, against the Saints. Saints have got really nothing to play for other than a high draft pick with a backup quarterback and an Alvin Kamara and maybe a Kendra Miller and a Juwan Johnson. That's it. The Commanders should feast on the Saints, actually. Yeah, I would stay away from that Broncos Colts. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think they're close. I think just with the state of the New Orleans quarterback position, I think that's the tiebreaker for me. I think I'd probably roll Commanders. I mean, I think the Broncos are the better defense, but
they are.
I think that with Derek Carr going down, I mean, I think the Saints got some offensive linemen back, so that should help. But at the end of the day, that offense is not. I'm not afraid of the passing offense, at least.
Yeah, it's Commanders for me. I mean,
yep.
Agreed with what said. Broncos are a better defense overall, but I mean, Anthony Richardson always has a lot more upside than Jake Haener does. I mean, and
last time we saw the Broncos, right? Wasn't one Jameis Winston just lighting them up? and again, I wouldn't expect the Broncos defense to play like that. No defense plays like that, as a matter of fact.
No way.
But so I'm sure that they've buttoned it up on their bye week. So again, that's why I think it's an interesting game, because it's not like, usually you get one team coming off the bye playing another, but both these teams coming off a bye. But yeah.
And the Colts have had some time to get ready for this matchup.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for what to do, and like you said, I mean, and the Saints, I mean, there's a scenario here down the stretch that we see less of Alvin Kamara, right? Like, he is locked up for the next couple of years. This team wants him a part of this team moving forward, which means they may ease the gas off on him a little bit. There's no reason to run this dude into the ground the last couple of weeks of the season, and they got to see what Kendra Miller can be. And like you said, they got nobody else, and it's Jake Haener, and you might see Spencer Rattler in this game too. And that means if there's a chance that you're seeing two quarterbacks because one doesn't play well, I think I got to play that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Kendra Miller, that's interesting. We've been calling for Kendra Miller for a while. In fact,
two. I've been talking about him for at least the last 2 weeks.
But
it's see what he's got. You got to see what he is, and you didn't pay Kamara to come back and be a part. I mean, like, why? Why, other than for fantasy purposes? Like, why are you going to give Kamara 25 touches right now?
Would you start Alvin Kamara?
Yeah. I mean, until I
always
see,
starting.
Yeah, unless I see that Kendra Miller gets a 65% snap share this week, then maybe the next week if the Saints basically come out and tell us that Kamara is the backup for the rest of the season, then sure. But right now, I'm ready for Kamara to hopefully get, 13 catches from Jake Haener. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for. Dump off Central, baby. I mean, you have to do that till something shows us differently. You can't assume that Kamara, if you play Kamara and Kendra gets, more than 50%, then so be it. I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I think I would probably there's no way I would have enough stones to just sit Kamara, because I think Kendra Miller at this point is going to, get more touches, get more snaps. But at the same time, he did dig into it. He did kind of cut into Kamara's role a little bit last week against the Giants. So No, in any event, it's going to be difficult. You better have you better have a really good option. And I know this wasn't part of the question, but it just made me spark the question myself regarding Alvin Kamara, because I know a lot of people are just going to roll with him, and it could be again. Look, if we saw what we saw last night, which shouldn't have, it surprised us, but it's not like we haven't seen that before. One of like our quote unquote studs, a really solid wide receiver too, put up a donut. I mean, it shit happens. It sucks that it happens. Bucky, Marv, or Brees for Shane Goat. Bucky, boy, with a back injury. Back is something that can't be taken lightly. Yeah, can't be taken lightly. Okay, so far, like his lower extremities are great. No knee problem, no ankle problem. Yet his back is a problem. That is a problem.
But the other problem is Brees is not trending well either.
Yeah, well, he's trending better in like the last 2 hours or so. Trending better. But yeah, it's not a great situation at all. And then there's Marv. So you've got 2 running backs here, and Marv, pick 2. Who do you got, Jonsey?
Well, Marv's the first one, just because
that's
the question marks with the other 2.
That's by default. Yeah.
So it just comes down to who plays. If they both play, it's tough. Because I don't trust either of them right now.
Let me see.
What is the other option if it's not those 2 guys? I mean, I'm just curious. He's not mentioning it, so it probably isn't worth mentioning. But I don't know how I can. I mean, I got the same face as Jonsey. Like Bucky came out last week and never went back in.
Yep.
There's clearly something wrong. And Brees,
I mean, I'm probably going to side with Brees if he plays.
Yeah, I mean, Rachaad White. Yeah, I mean, and the Bucs have Rachaad White, who's been good, been really good.
And so it's not like their cupboard is bare either, and they have Tucker.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the Jets. I mean, Isaiah was good. They've got Braylon Allen. I mean, they got guys to.
It's true. But here's the thing with the Jets. I don't mean to cut you off. The thing with the Jets is they're actually on record as saying, look, we have no plans on shutting Brees Hall down. Like, well, if he's healthy, he's going to play. So, like, they're on record saying that. Now, the $1 million question is whether how healthy is he? Is that knee okay? That's the $1 million question. And right now, he's about to come off the injury report.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's coming down to like what we've been talking about almost all night. We have major question marks with Bucky and Brees. Who's the better player? Brees Hall.
That's what I was going to say when Sieg started talking. I was going to say you could apply the
Who
same
has the better matchup?
To
me, it's Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Brees has got the Jaguars. Bucky's against the Chargers.
Bucs are still playing for something. Bucky goes out there, that thing tenses up. Like you're just gonna go. You're gonna feed White all day.
Yeah, take it from me. I've had 2 back surgeries. I had 2 back surgeries in my 20s.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. Trust me.
That sucks.
And once it starts, I don't know exactly what his problem is, but it just doesn't go away. I mean, and they have a lot better drugs and doctors than I've ever had in my life, but that can flare up and
don't shortchange yourself on the drugs.
And
no,
yeah, so I'm gonna side with Brees over Bucky if they both play.
Yeah.
Hey, so just because it's week 15, guys, means that the action does not stop after week 18, folks. Beginning week 19 with the wild card round, that week. We'll be doing the live DFS. We'll be doing props and all that jazz with the pick'ems. Once the wild card divisional rounds and all that, come watch the games with us. It should be some fun. I'm almost guaranteeing fun. And then, of course, immediately following the Super Bowl, we'll begin the rookie draft process. We'll get into the fantasy dynasty rankings and, of course, free agency tracker, all right here at the Fantasy Goats channel. Let's go. How'd I do, Jonsey?
Bah. You do it better.
And we know that the wolf will be with us every step of the way, every freaking step of the way. And so will Tyler Goat. We're going to get to Tyler Goat. We're going to get to all of the goats. Believe me, we're going to get to all the goats because we know that the questions are that more important, or they're magnified now, or there's going to be more scrutiny over the decision. I get it. It's almost like you should probably roll with the decision the same way this week as you would any other week, but unfortunately you can't, because that could very well be the end of the road. But you kind of should always stick to the same process. Always stick to the same process. For me, a lot of it is matchup based. A lot of people take different angles, but yeah.
And another thing too to keep in mind is, like you were saying, you got to look at this as 1 week at a time. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Take it 1 week at a time. If you have a couple roster spots of guys that will never play, either pick up high value running backs, like I've been talking for weeks, or look at your opponent and see where their weaknesses are. See if they have a Bucky Irving, a Breece Hall, someone that may miss the game, a David Njoku, and then go to the waiver wire and look at what's out there. And if there are good options, take them. Make sure your opponent can't go get the good option if their guy can't play and they have no other options. Use your roster to your advantage right now, because if you don't do it this week, there may not be a next week. I mean, I'm not saying go drop all your good players to do that, but if you have the flexibility, play defense also.
Just now in a league that we're in, sharp dude. All right, just dropped Travis Etienne for Nick Chubb.
Yeah. It's a wash.
Wonder what he's thinking, though. That they're going to take the ball out of Jameis's hands. Maybe. Possibly.
Football, but they're going to try.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably looking at, okay, if Njoku's out, they're going to run the ball more.
Yeah.
Because they don't have another option, but
they're not running the football well. So,
that's it.
I mean,
but that it kind of rolls along the lines of our previous discussion regarding this dude. That's all. It just rolls along those lines.
Yeah, and it could be the other side. It could be the other side of it. Like, I would rather my opponent pick up ETN than play Chubb, kind of thing too. Like, he might not want to play him, but he may just say, "Hey, Chubb might be looking at the volume. I'm going to pick him up so somebody else doesn't." Like Jonsey was kind of saying. Like, I would think that would be more of his approach than thinking he wants to play Chubb. And that makes some sense because, I mean, it looks like Bigsby is, getting the carries, and ETN has not been very good. So,
all fair. We going with Rodgers or we going with Richardson? Great matchup for Rodgers. Not so great matchup for Richardson, but Richardson's got the legs. Rodgers has no legs. It's a good matchup for Rodgers. He hasn't been playing terrible. Richardson coming off of the bye. Who knows if he throws one, rushes for two.
The problem with Richardson is if he doesn't rush for two, he doesn't get you anything.
If he doesn't rush for any touchdowns, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah,
it's going to be. Yeah, he needs
his 10 completions a game does not get you anything. You need that rushing upside. And will he do it? I mean, I'm sure he's going to give you something, but I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to try. Rodgers was good last week, but he hasn't exactly been slinging the ball, throwing for more than, 200 plus yards. Last week was great. I mean, it worked out, but at Miami, you might as well be playing indoors. I mean, at Jacksonville, I know the Jags are a good matchup, but they've uglied up some games at home. I mean, I don't think the writing's on the wall that Rodgers is just going to go in there and replicate what he did last week. When's the last time he's had back-to-back 300-yard games with multiple touchdowns?
I mean, Rodgers is going to get you 15 points every week. That's what he is.
The safe play, the floor is Rodgers. If you want the upside, it's Richardson. So, I mean,
if you're looking, I mean, I kind of feel like you're looking to swing the fences right now. I mean, like, that's the end of it. Like, let's go for the home run. I think that would be Richardson here. Rodgers,
we've seen how many weeks a guy like Justin Fields has been phenomenal for the fantasy aspect and not even good on the football field. And this isn't prime Aaron Rodgers. I'm personally, if this is my team, I'm just playing Richardson and I'm swinging for the fences. I'm taking the cheat code quarterback that this fantasy game is known to be high on, right? And it's boom or bust possibly, but for me personally, I'm okay with the upside of Richardson with the version of Rodgers we've been getting.
Cut.
Yeah.
If Rodgers scores 16.1 and Richardson scores 5.1, I will come back on and tell you I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
But
Richardson's the riskier move, but he's got the higher ceiling for sure. So, and especially if you are a Cooper Cup owner, you just got a zero. You're probably going to want to go Richardson in that case.
Or maybe you're the other guy that is playing Bucky or Brees, and both are questionable, and you have to.
But if you're a team that's playing against someone that has,
then you want the safe.
You want the safe,
secure points.
Go Rodgers.
Yeah,
get the points.
I agree with that.
So a lot of it comes down to your opponent this week and how you match. I mean, every week is how you match up against your opponent, but this week especially.
This motherfucker guy right here, this fucking goat. This goat's gonna just like come on here and he's gonna lay trophies down in front of everyone, just like boom, 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 trophies all over the place. Derek Buck, man, is another guy that's gonna lay trophies down. The Derek Buck. Tyrone, baby. Tyrone. It's not the best matchup for Tyrone. That sucks. Oh. Take a chance with Sincere versus Atlanta. Full PPR. This is a good one, actually. Roll the dice with the waiver wire pickup or go with Tyrone, who is kind of, sort of, not really, but kind of one of these best pickup league winner types of the season. I said
Alexander
kind of
Madison playing this week?
Even if he does, which I think he's going to, I could tell
you. If Madison plays, I want nothing to do with McCormick.
Okay. Even though
if Madison doesn't play, it makes it tricky.
Even though Sincere McCormick has been named the starter, that holds no weight with you?
No.
Okay.
I don't care if a coach calls a guy a starter.
Okay.
That means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'm asking you in the hypothetical sense for the goats.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't hold much weight with me either.
Yeah.
Where is
the only position that a coach could say they're the starter and it holds some weight is quarterback. Otherwise, every other position, I don't care who they call the starter. It doesn't matter.
And Alexander Madison does not seem to be on. I don't see it. Oh, maybe this isn't updated? Come on. Fucking updates. Yeah, no, okay. It's not updated. I've got blank.
Friday, Madison full practice yesterday and today. So he'll play. Yeah, I can't risk. You don't know how it's going to break down.
And on top of that, I mean, I hate to mention this player, but Antonio Pierce was all about Zamir White in the offseason and starting the season. I mean, he was all about him being the guy. And it wasn't like, I mean, Madison was involved from the get-go. You know what I mean? Like, and I know White wasn't great, but like, it wasn't like White had 4 games to get 20 touches and just did nothing, and then they switched it. So why, I don't know, man. Why do I want to believe? Cool, I get it, Pierce. You like McCormick. There's a lot to like. He's looked good. He's looked better on a yards per carry basis. In a small sample.
In his opportunity.
But like in a limited sample, and what if the Falcons come up and score a bunch of points? Are they going to put Abdullah in on all the passing downs? Plus Madison gets targets. Like I like what McCormick's done in this side, but Tracy is the guy. I know starter doesn't matter, but like he's the running back for the Giants. Like starter, he's just the running back.
we have to start Tyrone here.
Yeah.
The matchup is
unless
great.
Madison gets ruled out for some weird reason, then I would play McCormick if Madison's out.
The matchup isn't great on the ground. However, where the Ravens are vulnerable, A, we know in the secondary, B, to pass catching running backs. Tyrone Tracy is a capable, or is expected at some point to really elevate that portion of his game, considering that he's a converted wide receiver. The only other problem I have here, though, is the fact that the Ravens are expected to just maul over this team this week. Like the Giants really don't have a puncher's chance, so to speak. And it's not going to be a very favorable game script for Tyrone Tracy on all levels. You're only, Derek, in my mind, from this seat, our only chance that we have for Tyrone would be very early on, first quarter, something maybe materializes for him again in that pass catching role, or something miraculously takes place where the Giants are really like inside the 10 and we get him in. Because if it's not happening by halftime, it's not going to be a good situation. But
even if they're down, that just means more targets for them. So they're going to be passing the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing catch up. I mean, last week, Tyrone had 10 targets.
10 targets.
He had 3 the week before that and 4 before the week before that. But he's the guy that gets the targets out of the backfield. I don't
know if it's going to work out the same way as we think it's going to. I don't. I could see.
I'm not saying that.
I don't see it.
10 targets is going to turn into 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. But
I expect, like, if the game's getting out of hand, I think we'll wind up seeing Devin Singletary again.
I don't know if they have a reason to take Tracy out if the game gets out of hand. It's not like it's a Kamara type, issue. And I mean, maybe, you're hoping that Baltimore
to preserve him, not to get him, not to get him
different though,
not to get him screwed up for the beginning of next season.
Yeah, but you don't see that as often with a guy like Tracy who's just coming in as you do a guy like Kamara. And maybe this is what you're hoping is that Baltimore forgets to get off the plane mentally, and they look ahead to Pittsburgh. They look ahead to Pittsburgh. The spread's up to like 16.5. And a lot of times, and I wouldn't base it off of this, but like a lot of times those games end up being uglier than they should be. Like it just it happens that way. And Baltimore's been known to look ahead. Baltimore's been known to come out and struggle in some games, right? So it's Tracy's backfield. If Madison's playing, you can't trust McCormick, right? That's what it comes down to.
We're definitely going to start Tyrone. Okay, just laying out what the possibilities are in terms of like what we may or may not see, what could rear its ugly head here in terms of like, his production, so on and so forth. And hell, let's hope that, one of these favorable scripts plays out where, okay, fine. He gets full game work. He gets all these targets, all these dump offs from Danny DeVito, or the Giants turn Lamar over, and now they're inside the 15, and Tyrone could break one off in a reception for a touchdown, because again, that's where the Ravens are vulnerable. So yeah, look, consider this kind of like a hedge on my Tyrone Tracy investments from way earlier in the season. So no, but we're gonna take Tyrone here with Madison active for sure. Where's the GOAT? It's the Kyler or the Tua? Gonna go with I know Tua's been playing better, but I think I'm gonna go Kyler. I'm gonna go back to Kyler here. Gonna go with the rushing upside. I am gonna go with that rushing upside.
This should be a Kyler game.
Should be.
New England's a little better against the run. I mean, Arizona can run the football, if they want to, but I mean, New England's secondary is like no business. But Arizona's, I don't know, man. Kyler lets you down when you think he won't, and then he, plays great when everybody's down on him. So, I mean, I know that's not the greatest analysis, right? But that's just kind of the way things unfold. And again, they're at home, right? They're indoors against a terrible defense. I like Tua too. It's close for me. It's not an easy call. I think this Miami offense found something. Like, it's throwing the ball to Waddle and Tyree 20 times, not Jonnu Smith 15 times. Like, that's – and Houston's kind of a pass funnel too. Cooper Rush threw for 300 yards against them, and he's been the worst quarterback since he's came in. I mean, Miami should put up a lot of offense.
I've seen plenty of games from Tua where he's thrown for 300, 325 and won to Tyreek usually. So yeah, it works. It winds up working itself out pretty closely, right? I mean, if Tua throws 300, let's just say 300 even, one touchdown, that's kind of the same as like, Kyler's like 225 and 2, no? Isn't it kind of like the same? Close? Yeah. It's close.
The 2 picks hurt Kyler last week too. I mean, he had to throw the ball a ton in that game, but so he ended up being okay because he had 2 touchdowns but he threw the ball 40-something times, I think.
And that's if Kyler has 2 touchdowns.
He should be a lot more efficient, right? I mean, it's close for me. I like them both. I think they both have a big week. I think I'm taking a little bit of the rushing upside, like you said, with Kyler, and I have kind of right above him. What do you think, Jonsey?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you guys are saying. I don't hate Tua this week. I think he's a great DFS play with his pricing going against Houston. But am I going to trust him over Kyler? Probably not. Kind of like you were saying, I like the floor with Kyler. You're gonna get some rushing from him. It's just you're rolling the dice if this is one of his dud games, but I mean, all signs point to it shouldn't be.
Shouldn't.
But then again, I mean, Tua's been rolling. That offense has been rolling. But
yeah, could be a letdown. Also, yeah. They're not playing a slouch. The Texans are still right. I mean, not still. They are right in the thick of this thing, man. They need to lock that up. They're very much like it's probably the division for them or bust, or it might be. So like, it's not like they're out of the woods. The Texans, they need to win this game.
Yeah. If the Cardinals were away, they're playing it in New England, I would probably side with Tua, but
different story.
Kyler at home, yeah. And I mean, the Dolphins are in Houston also,
I'm not sure. I hope Max heard us regarding the Sincere McCormick discussion, Alexander Madison. Yeah, look, if Madison is going to be active, he's probably going to be on the field sharing backfield, early down work. And then he may get the third down work, or Amir Abdullah may get the third down work. I mean, I think Sincere McCormick's going to get the first crack at the early down work, but then at some point we should expect to see Alexander Madison still work back into it.
You know, the thing I don't understand, and I'm obviously not an NFL coach, but
I am.
If I'm the Raiders, if I'm the Jets, if I'm any team that's out of it and has no chance, I'm not playing the Alexander Madisons in my games unless I absolutely have to. I'm playing the Sinceres to figure out more about them, how they keep playing. So I know next year, you know, I got more tape on them in games. You know, putting Madison in there, Madison's not your future. You know, I mean,
they know what they have out of Alexander Madison. There's enough tape on Alexander Madison with his former team. But yeah, I would agree with that. What you don't have enough tape on is Sincere McCormick in his last
will
couple
they
of
do
games.
that? Probably not.
Probably not, because they did it. They did it to start the season.
It's like the Jets saying they're not going to shut down Breece Hall. The stupidest. That's why that franchise doesn't progress. Because they make stupid decisions like that.
It's true.
You're completely out of it. Why play him? Shut him down.
It gets even stupider than that, to be honest with you. It's like, oh, okay, let's see what we have in not Braylon Allen. Let's see what we have in Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen. Yeah, it gets even crazier, for sure. What's up, Tyler Goat? Big time Goat. Yeah, Jaden Reed. Oh, man. Ray. Where's Sniper? Sniper may be under the weather. Or Elijah Moore. Yeah, again, now here comes Elijah Moore again. Jaden Reed pulled off the Cooper Cup from last night earlier in the week. That's tough. I get it. I wouldn't expect them to, the numbers have nowhere else to go but up. Now, how far or how high they go, I'm not positive about. But I know that they have to get that dude involved. That like he's a weapon for them. Can't just they should continue to use Josh Jacobs, and they want to look downfield for Christian Watson, yes, but I mean they've got a lot of talent with Jaden Reed, and just to not use them for 0.00 again, I don't see that happening. And Ray McLeod is not it either, my friend. That again is kind of like
he's a deeper league or specialized scoring
gimmicky type of deal. Yeah, like you got to expect Drake London to get more targets. You got to expect Darnell Mooney to get more targets. You got to maybe expect more out of Kyle Pitts. Dare I say that?
You do expect more out of Kyle Pitts, but it's very clear that they don't want to throw that dude the football for whatever reason. But he is out there, so you never know. There could be a game, and the Raiders have been awful against tight ends. This is a week again where
this is going to be the week where Kyle Pitts just goes nuclear.
It should be the week, but they've had a few.
Everyone's going to be like, I said him.
I dropped him. I dropped him on one team. Actually,
he's
no,
just
I didn't.
The definition too of like he's out there on the field, and he can be so good that it's like you want to hold on for so long. He's one of the hardest kind of guys to break ties with, and at the position, right? Because it's like all he needs is a couple catches, I mean, to have some success at the tight end position. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jaden Reed, man, take those 2 touchdowns away. That night, he only had 3 catches for 24 yards. 2 of them were for touchdowns. He's had 3 targets, 2 targets.
There's the wolf. The third wolf. There's the third wolf.
I think, if Njoku and Tillman are out, I might go more here. But if not, I think I'm going to hope that the Packers just find a way to get the ball in Jaden Reed's hand. Like, this is a guy that, was used to getting 5 catches a game, almost no problem. And it's just kind of disappeared. So.
Yeah, I'm going Jaden Reed here, 100%.
I'm with that there.
I mean,
if Njoku and Tillman are out, are you still playing Reed?
Yep. Jaden Reed, I mean, sure, no one likes playing anyone that got a dud the previous week.
Leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It does. And I understand it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, to me, that was more about game, how they wanted to attack the Lions than Jaden Reed. I just don't think he was a big part of the game plan that week.
The 3 weeks before that, 3 for 24, 3 for 26, 2 for 23. That doesn't concern you at all?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but
couple of those games were also without Romeo Doubs.
But with Romeo coming back, does it help Jaden Reed? Because if you think about it, okay, everyone knows what Christian Watson is. You just got to watch him deep. That's all you got to do with him. Dontavian Wicks can't catch football, so you can just let him roam around. So all the attention goes to Jaden Reed. Romeo Doubs comes back. Sure, he's not lighting up the world, but he's someone you still have to account for. So maybe that takes some pressure off of Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with that in a lot of ways, right? Like I thought like going into the year, right? Like a guy like Neighbors gives a guy like Wandale more opportunity to get catches, right? I mean, it's just kind of the way it works. You're all of a sudden,
which he does. He just doesn't do anything with those catches.
No, I know, but just the example of, right? If he's the one there, I mean, if Wandale's the one and there's no Neighbors, like it'd be even worse than that, right? I mean, so I agree with that logic in a lot of cases, but oh man, it's hard because outside of last week, Moore's been getting a lot of targets. I'm not sure the 3 pick sixes by Winston. I don't know exactly if that's in reference to playing Elijah Moore, but I mean, he's just if Njoku and Tillman don't play, Moore looks like he's gonna get 8 targets. How good are those targets? I don't know. I mean, I get it. I have nothing against playing Jaden Reed here at all. It's just with no Njoku and no Tillman, it's very tight for me. Right?
Like at some point, and I'm afraid that we're pretty much at that point, you kind of have to, I hate to do it or I hate to recommend it, but like at some point you have to like sometimes play the Ray McLeods and the Elijah Moores of the world. Like, yeah, you drafted Jaden Reed somewhere high, mid. And I know he put up donuts last week, but then, if you take a look at like the last 3-4 weeks, now we sit him.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago in a PPR format, he had 19.7. Sure, out of the last 4, that was the only game he's broke 10 points. He had 9.8 in one of them.
So that
was with 2 touchdowns, right? That was the 2 touchdown game.
That's enough. That should be enough for us to go off of. Not this past week, but
he kind of if you look at his scoring throughout the year, he's kind of up and down and up and down and up and down, and
reminds me of it reminds me of another situation with the advent of their running back. It reminds me of the Eagles wide receivers and what's happening over here now that they have Josh Jacobs has been doing really well and playing really well.
I was just going to say that with the emergence of, Josh Jacobs has been doing well all year. He's just been more in the spotlight the last 4 weeks, let's just say. I think that's what's been hurting Reed the most is Jacobs.
And he's gotten the red zone work, right? Even last week, it was 60 yards, but he got 3 touchdowns. He's been saved by the touchdowns, which
there's no
you
other
hope maybe
way.
the Packers got to throw the ball in the red zone a little bit. Reed's got the most red zone targets of those 3 guys on the season.
There's no goal line back this season. The goal line back is the primary back. It's the same back. Yeah. There's no Jamal Williams this year, and his 17 touchdowns for 600 yards on the year. Yeah, I get it.
I
think I would go back to Jaden Reed though.
If Njoku is out, I could see a case for starting Elijah Moore. I mean, I think it's going to kill you if you start Elijah Moore over Jaden Reed? No, but I just trust the Green Bay offense more.
Yeah, I agree with that. I get that. I just think, like I said, if Njoku and Tillman are out, I think you're seeing probably those 8 targets. And is Jaden Reed going to get 8 targets? Does he need 8 targets? He can do a lot with the ball in his hands too. So it kind of comes back to, you get the ball in Jaden Reed's hands, he can do some things with it. We've seen him get the ball and go multiple times, right?
Every running back needs a backup. It's true.
Well, in this day and age, especially, I mean,
it's true. It's definitely true. Yes, it is. That is true. Irving might not play. Yeah, we were talking about that, Tyler Goat. The back's not something that you could just like sneeze at. It's your back. It's your back. Brees was limited, and he was. Yeah, I think he's full today, Max. I think you're right. At least according to what's coming out of this neck of the woods. Yeah, Tucker Kraft. I mean, again, we're seeing Jordan Love look to his tight end. We know that he's looking downfield for Christian Watson. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it's just like, Jaden Reed doesn't seem to be that much in their game plan as he was maybe earlier on. Is he talking
Tucker Kraft or is he talking Sean Tucker?
I think he's talking Sean Tucker. Because he was talking about Irvin.
Even so, Tucker Kraft. Back to the Packers. Right? It works.
Tucker Kraft. It works.
That's somebody else who's getting targets from Jordan Love. And
what about Justin Tucker?
He's getting targets also. He's getting targets. What about him, Bo? I mean, is there a question regarding the kicker?
No. We were just naming people with Tucker in their names, so.
Justin,
I was just adding to it.
I have no idea what's going on now. Tucker Craycraft, Mahomes, Goff, Tua.
If Irving doesn't play, he's talking about Sean Tucker. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Would you look at Sean Tucker? But the issue with Tucker is that he just might hurt Rachaad White owners if Irving doesn't play, because he might get some goal line work. But I think White's been so good that I'm not looking at putting Tucker in my lineup.
I
would be comfortable playing Irving or White the way they've produced. I'm not comfortable playing Tucker with while White's playing. Like, that's not right, Jonsey. Like, that's not even the same conversation.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I would probably feel comfortable playing Tucker would be is if it was just him.
Yeah.
Bucky would have to be out and White would have to be out for me to say, roll with Tucker. Unless you're in a really, really deep league or big league, I'm finding a better option.
Yeah, 32 team type, or whatever. Or you've got 22-man rosters. Yeah, Tucker's a nice kind of. You hope he steals a touchdown.
How?
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying, should I start Sean Tucker or should I start Blake Corum, for example?
Right.
Right. Sure. There's a path, but
Sean Tucker is so good. They went out and drafted Bucky Irving. So, I mean, he had that one good game in the beginning of the season, like a few games into the season. He's relegated. He's a goal line type of back. That's not somebody that I would want to start and feel good about at all.
No, I like Tucker, though. I think it's the situation. I don't think they knew exactly how good Rachaad White would maintain. And so I think Irving was a take for both those guys. Tucker was injured, which is why his draft stock went down.
You do like Sean Tucker. Come to think about it, if I remember correctly, you are a Sean Tucker guy.
Sean Tucker is, yeah. Okay. My 3 guys to watch last year were Kyron, Dowdle, and Tucker. And they're slowly coming to fruition little by little. So I'm waiting on Tucker.
Always better to be early than late. Always.
Hey, on that note, Peter Parker did give us that Mac Jones game. We knew it was coming 1 week. It was just a couple weeks after we thought
we were a few weeks early. We were so damn early that shit.
Anyway, I digress. I think Sean Tucker could be a good player in this league. Let's go. Move forward.
Mahomes, Goff, Tua, pick 2.
In the Superflex.
I'm going to go Mahomes, Tua. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid with Goff that they're just going to run the ball and control the clock and limit Goff's opportunities.
You're okay. Yeah, I have the same fear in the other one. I think Mahomes is like in the same boat. I just, I think they're going to just dominate the ground against Cleveland. I don't know how many opportunities Mahomes will get.
Yeah.
But Buffalo should score a lot more than Cleveland. So you don't think with the high total that doesn't gear you? I'm right there with you. I can see that, but I think with the high point total, I might lean Goff Tua.
I think it's just because I trust the Lions' run game more than I trust the Chiefs. I know the Lions, they're going to want to control that ball. They don't, if they're giving the ball back to Josh Allen all the entire game, they're going to lose. Josh Allen will find a way to put up points. So they need to hold that ball and run that ball as much as they can. And they got 2 of the best backs in the league to do that with. 100%. The Chiefs, I can't say that, as much as I want to, I can't. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Upside, I think I'm going to stick with Mahomes and Tua.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, no. I would do it for all those reasons, I believe, yeah. I want Tua. I definitely want Tua. They have the most to play for, let's not forget also.
I think Tua, I don't even think there's a conversation. Tua's in there.
I mean, not that I could ever see Andy Reid sitting Patrick Mahomes. Because that doesn't happen, even as much as they lock playoffs up and clinch home field advantages. But I don't know. At some point, when does the Lions and Goff start to okay, let's not show them everything. Running is probably the best way to do that. Because you don't want to show them, Ben Johnson may not want to show them all of the tricks, all of that. So, I'm kind of thinking along those lines as well. Tua and the Dolphins, they have to just continue to play their football game. And all that motion and this and that, misdirection here and there. But, the Chiefs should be up against the Browns where they can dial down the passing, where they don't have to have their foot on the gas. And I'm kind of feeling when do the Lions put up that white flag? All right, and same thing on the other side of the ball with the Bills. Why would they want to continue to just roll him out there? These dudes are not infallible. When do they have to start worrying about their investments into the postseason? That's kind of where I'm going with these options here. So
they're still playing for home field in both these teams.
I know.
Nothing like that will happen.
I don't think we're anywhere near that conversation. I don't think we're anywhere near that. This is a playoff game right now between these two teams. I think these teams aren't holding anything back against each other because the next time they'd see each other would be the final game of the season.
So
I'm rolling Goff too. I'm just chasing.
So working off of that, you've convinced me that there should be no holds barred. I would take Goff and Tua. That's close though.
It is.
That's close. That's damn close.
Yeah,
I could easily start Mahomes too. Have Mahomes throw a touchdown at Hopkins. Have Mahomes maybe get Xavier Worthy in for one.
My only concern with going Goff Tua is, out of all three of these guys, who would you say is the most volatile? Who the most unpredictable on if they're going to have a good game or a bad game? To me, that's Tua.
Probably no. To me, that would be Jared Goff. He seems to be the most volatile. Because not necessarily to his fault, but as you mentioned, I think before, they have two of the best running backs. Who's to say that they don't have freaking 4 touchdowns amongst the two of them? And that's leaving Jared Goff with nothing.
But they also have a good chance to score. They also have a good chance of scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns, which means Goff has a better opportunity to at least get touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Right? The Chiefs' offense. I mean, Mahomes.
I see both sides.
Listen, Mahomes could throw 3 touchdowns and they could score 21 points. I mean, that's not like too surprising. But Mahomes hasn't been.
See, to me, Mahomes, out of all three of these guys, is the steady. He's the one that you can probably trust.
The same damn 17 points.
And when you don't know what you're going to get from a Goff, I mean, Tua and the Dolphins have been hot, but do I 100% trust it? No.
No, but I think against Houston and what we've seen, I think
Goff and Tua you're lowering your floor a lot.
Yeah,
that's my only problem.
Do you expect Buffalo to put up points against Detroit? I don't think Detroit's seen an offense like the Bills yet.
I don't think so. Can Buffalo put up points? Yes. But I think because Detroit can run the football as well as they do,
sure.
I just think you're not gonna see 6 touchdowns from Josh Allen. I don't see that. Could he throw for 2 and run for 1? Sure. But
so Jared Goff's log since week 9, 9.6 fantasy points, 12.8, 34.6, 10.8, 16.9, 23. I mean, the game against the 10.8 was against Indianapolis there. A home game against Jacksonville was 34 points against Jacksonville. But a game in Houston, 12.8. I mean, I'm not checking that against what the running backs have done in those games. However, I mean, if you want a question on volatility, that would be Jared Goff for me. And that's just since week 9.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at 2-2, I mean, first couple games of the season, 18-8. Then he was injured. Then he came back 14, 17, 9. And now he's been on a roll for 20s for the last 4 games.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that game he got hurt, he had, 3 interceptions before the injury, right? I mean, he was playing like his worst.
Yeah, games. Yeah. And obviously, but I just...
Right.
Every week I walk into the Miami offense, and I've said this all the time, I'm always starting Tyreek Hill. I know what that offense can do. It doesn't mean I trust it. Doesn't mean I trust Mike McDaniels.
All right, so do we come to our mutual understandings on the 2 quarterbacks?
Well, it's me and you.
Yeah, you guys were Goff Tua, and I was Mahomes.
Jonsey is
Mahomes Tua.
All right, fantastic.
You guys win.
Well, as far as 2-1 right now, we'll see what happens
on
Sunday.
I want the goats to win.
You might stand alone. You might stand alone there, Jonsey, because you're the one.
I'm gonna be all right, one way or another. I want the goats to win. I want Wandaria. Well, Tyler, let me make sure I'm not missing any questions out of the Tyler goat.
The funny thing, the fun thing about being the guy that is the one guy that picks it is when you're right, you get to be on that island of victory, you know?
You trust Chubb more than ETN, yeah.
Like you said, exactly. Tyler, I mean, I'd rather keep Chubb away from my opponent more than ETN for sure.
Yeah. Richardson versus Patrick Surtain. Well, here's the good news there. Whoever Patrick Surtain actually winds up shadowing in this situation, that should be that should
matter for 10 plays a game,
right? That should free up. Whether it be Michael Pittman or Josh Downs. It should free up Alec Pierce for a couple of long shots. Yeah, no, we're not expecting the dude to complete over 20 passes. That ain't happening. We're not expecting that. What we are expecting, maybe we could get him over 50, 60 yards rushing and a touchdown along with everything else. That's what we're hoping for. That's why we would start Anthony Richardson in a super flex. In a regular 1 QB, I would think there are 11 other options available that are probably better at this time. Probably. If you want to live dangerously, well, we like to live dangerously, Tyler Goat. Wandaria. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Wandarius. Half PPR. I'm tied with the other guy in projections. Nice. I have to pick 2 out of Rico, Kamara, AJ Brown. What are we thinking, boys? What are we thinking for the Goat here? This is a good one. We have to pick 2 out of. You've got 2 backs here, Rico and Kamara. No, and then wide receiver AJ Brown. Holy smokes! Well, Rico's got the Panthers, the gift that keeps on giving to running backs. Alvin Kamara, who's got the. Okay, why do I keep drawing a blank on the Saints? Who are they playing this
Commanders.
week? Commanders. Of course. And AJ Brown they draw the Steelers, which should be a really good game. Should be a really good game. I expect the Steelers. I expect this to be a defensive game. I really do. How about this? I'm starting the Eagles. I'm not scared of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense without any George Pickens either. I'm not scared of Najee Harris. Nevertheless, that's just me. I'm starting the Eagles defense in 1 league. Maybe 2 leagues. It's a tough one, though. Wolf, are you in the Rico Dowdle business still?
Well, you already know I'm in the Rico Dowdle business. But,
are you in the Rico Dowdle business now?
I'm in the Rico Dowdle business in a lot of cases. I'm gonna give you Dowdle in a lot of instances, but
Rico's done us well.
But
he's done us well.
I wish Dowdle had a worse matchup. It'd make it a lot easier to try to not put him in here. But we're talking Alvin Kamara and AJ Brown. I mean, the theme of the night. The theme of the night, man, is the better players. I mean, we're talking 2 Hall of Fame players, right?
And it's half PPR. If it was full point, I would be Rico would get more value. But doing half point, you're losing a couple points a game from that. Just that for Rico.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I like Dowdle. I expect Dowdle to have a good week. I don't think he'll be too far behind these guys, but I just can't.
You have much higher ceilings with Kamara and AJ Brown.
Yeah. I mean,
Rico's going to get you 12 to 16, somewhere in that range, probably.
And AJ Brown is on that diva card right now, and it doesn't work for everybody, but usually the great wide receivers that are complaining usually come out the next week and are fed.
That's what I wanted from Debo this week.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he could have had a touchdown that would have at least made the game.
I was actually gonna sit Debo this week, and then all the complaining came out, and
but
I'm
what's
like,
crazy
you know what?
is if
you're gonna do that, you back it up, and Purdy's gonna go to bat for him, and
if he catches that pass, he's four catches for 50 yards and a touchdown instead of 3 for 19.
We were sitting Debo this past Tuesday on the show.
Back to the process, depending on who you would have played over Debo. I understand why people played Debo, and I understand why people sat him, right? Like, maybe you played, maybe you're playing Waddle or Addison or somebody who's been really good recently over Debo. Like, I could see that, but I can see the other side too. So, yeah, I just can't sit these two guys. I expect Donald to have a good week. Like, he should see the 20 carries. They're giving him the ball. He should see a little bit of goal line work. And that puts him in a nice position to give you, a good game on the ground and get in the end zone possibly. But I can't play him over these two guys.
Yeah, agreed.
Jose, go 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 wide receiver. Okay. Lamb, AJ Evans, John Connor, Zach Charbonnet, Joseph Mixon, Rico again, Jonnu, Kincaid, Ferguson, Jose Goatman. Let's get this lineup cranking for you. 2 running backs here. Zach Charbonnet is definitely one of them. Now let's go find the next one.
Is Kenneth Walker ruled out?
He's doubtful.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to sit Charbonnet. Okay, and you can't sit Mixon.
You can't sit Connor either, in my opinion.
So if you're doing that, then if you play those 3, you've got your running backs and your flex are off the board. So then you got to sit Lamb or AJ.
Yeah, and I don't know
if I can sit either one of those guys either.
And Mike Evans.
Yeah, I guess the Evans injury would be the only
thing
that puts him behind those 2. That's the only reason I left him off. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, do you?
Okay, let's get the easy part out of the way.
The tight end. Jonnu. I would probably go Jonnu. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Jonnu's.
I didn't like Ferguson's usage the other night, and Dalton Kincaid hasn't played in weeks yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matchup's good for Ferguson, but I mean, Shoemaker's going to be involved. Like, I mean, Ferguson might score a touchdown and have 2 catches for 12 yards, So, yeah, I think Jonnu's 4 quarters last week was a little weird, but you saw he went from 0 points to 15 points in one drive. And Tua is still the king of short, mediocre, mid-level passing to all 3 of those guys. That's their offense. So Jonnu, we got that. Jonnu's the tight end.
All right. Who are the 2 running backs?
That's what I was going to say. What's your 1, 2, 3 of running backs? How do you rank those guys?
I mean, to me, Mixon's 1.
Yeah.
Mixon either because of the injury to Walker, I'm going to elevate again Zach Charbonnet and then Connor. I mean, it's you've got too many top 10 players here. I mean, like, it's a good problem to have, but the problem being, like, we don't want to sit the wrong one either. It would be, I mean, Mixon, based on stats, based on the way he's played this entire season, he has to be treated as the one. If there was no injury to Kenny Walker, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But based on that, and based on what he did,
Walker plays, Charbonnet is automatically
he's not in this
this equation.
He's not in this equation.
Right. If Walker plays, he's out, which means you would then go. So if Charbonnet plays, it's Mixon, Charbonnet,
Connor.
So are you sitting Lamb and playing AJ Brown?
No, why do I have to sit Lamb if I need to take one wide receiver?
Because you'd be playing AJ Brown.
No, I don't think I'll be playing AJ Brown.
So you're going to sit AJ Brown in this?
Yeah, I am. There's no other wide receiver for Dallas. That's the way I'll rationalize that. Where AJ Brown is also fighting with Devontae Smith, he's fighting with Saquon Barkley, he's fighting with Grant Calcaterra, and he hasn't been playing well. CeeDee Lamb still looks like he's playing pretty well.
Where are you at, Jonesy? What are your 5?
Mixon, Charbonnet, Connor, Jonnu, AJ Brown.
Yeah, I hate to sit CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And for the purposes of my and I have
or flip Connor and Lamb if you really want to. I would be okay.
I have one AJ Brown team and I have a lot of Lamb teams. So selfishly, I hope Lamb outscores AJ Brown, right? But I think with how much they're probably going to try to run the ball, and I expect Carolina to also hand the ball off 25 times to Chuba Hubbard. Lamb has been okay, but he's disappeared too. He did everything he did on the first drive on Monday night in a juicy matchup. Yeah, I have no issue if you want to go Lamb, but I'm right there with you. I think I'm leaning AJ.
Yes. See, and I could easily see that just like flip with CeeDee Lamb also. So he'll have a quiet first half, and then they'll freaking figure out a way to get him the ball in the second half, and we see what CeeDee Lamb could do. I mean, he's proven it to us now with another quarterback.
He's still wide receiver? He's in the top 5.
So, I mean, that's someone like, there was there came a point several weeks ago, I want to say now, where we had to sit here and debate whether we were going to play CeeDee Lamb. And then we all came to the consensus that, no, we cannot sit this man. And he's proven that to be the case.
Yeah, this roster, that roster is just too many top tier players.
Yeah, no, it's a great roster, but again, the thing is, I wouldn't want to, pluck the wrong dude. But just for the record, it's Jonnu, Mixon, Charbonnet, Connor, AJ. And I also want to go on record also, and I'm sure I'll have to go on record again tomorrow as well regarding Zach Charbonnet. We had a smash opportunity with him last week. We knew that he was going to get full volume, total, absolute, close to 100% of the snaps. I'm not saying that it's going to be that much less in terms of actual snaps, but I would expect the performance and the production to come down a little bit. What's so funny?
I sent the private chat. We'll get to it.
Yeah, sent the private chat. But yeah, and if for some reason Walker plays, then you just play CeeDee Lamb as well, and you move on. But Charbonnet too good in the games without Walker.
Are we dropping Gus Edwards for Isaiah Davis?
I don't know if I want to do that.
I'm not. The only way I'd feel okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know if
I don't even know if I don't know if there's any scenario I'd feel good with that.
Yeah, I mean, Vidal did outsnap Edwards last week, but if Breece Hall's playing and you have Braylon Allen.
Yeah, I mean, if they even if they shut down Breece Hall, which they're not going to do, it's still a coin toss.
Yeah, I mean, if Vidal outplays Edwards again and Hall goes out for good, you probably still have this available. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I think I'd monitor it like that. Like, if they, let's say after this week, Hall's done for some weird reason, and Vidal looks to be taking even more than he did last week at the 60+%, I might make that move. But I think I'm waiting right now just with the fact that, like, Gus is still the goal line guy.
Exactly. And that's, you can't say that with Isaiah Davis because there's no track record yet of that. You know, we know Gus Bus is going to be the guy if they're at the 1 yard line, you know.
And it could easily be, and even if Brees isn't playing, Davis could play, but it could be Braylon Allen getting 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not an offense that's scoring 4 touchdowns a game where
I've got
plenty to go around.
Oh, what a disaster. Let me tell you, what a big disaster. Yeah, that one team I got Brees, Braylon, Isaiah Davis. I can't make a damn move because of positional limits. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for more information before I actually make the drop I'm going to drop one of those cuffs. It's just a matter, I'm not sure. It's probably going to be Davis. I'm probably going to drop Davis, roll and live and die with Braylon Allen and Brees Hall, along with Zach Charbonnet, A-Chain, and dedicate this season's 2024 trophy to the GOATs. Do we have any more, gentlemen? Any more at all? Don't forget, we're going to be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right, Jonsey? 7
Eastern. Yep.
Is it 7 again? Okay.
Yep.
Quincy Goat. Man, Quincy Goat. Quincy Goat. I think Quincy Goat's a cup guy.
But we got Ronnie here first. Cowboys over
defense.
Philly defense.
What's up, Ronnie Goat? I'm not scared of the Steelers. I'm not.
No, it's the Eagles defense in this one.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of them, Ronnie.
I'm playing the better defense.
The Cowboys like to get after the quarterback, and with Micah Parsons, they can do that. But Carolina's got a really good offensive line. Young's looked a lot better. They can't stop the run. Chuba's been great. Overshawn just got hurt. I mean,
yeah. Let's see Russ have one of these flawless, no turnover games against the Eagles on Sunday. I don't think so. I really don't. Now, he may not turn the ball over, but I don't expect them to put the ball in the end zone on them either. I really don't. Maybe Najee gets it. Maybe Jalen Warren.
The mute got to get one. The mute got to get one.
Well, that means Russ gets one.
Yeah, one.
All right. So, all right, granted. So, right. I don't expect the Steelers' offensive juggernaut to now all of a sudden show up to the Eagles' party.
No, the Steelers win this game because somehow they have an amazing game plan and Jalen Hurts crumbles and it's ugly. I mean, that's there's no.
The game is.
I can't see this Eagles defense just giving up 30 points all of a sudden to this Steeler offense right now.
I know they don't have to travel for this ball, but who's actually home? I think the Eagles, right?
Eagles. It's in Philadelphia, I believe, right?
Yep.
It's not a
good spot.
Not one of the more comfortable places.
If they had Pickens, I mean, I don't think I'd feel any different if they had Pickens. I'd like their offense a lot better, but I wouldn't be that. I wouldn't be scrambling to go find another defense. No, I'd play. So Eagles it is. Eagles it is. Let's see what Quincy's got going on here.
Quincy, man.
Started Jennings and Cup and Kyron on the same team. I have Lamb and Mooney. Would start McCormick over Chase.
See, I know
the matchup, and Mooney and McCormick play Monday night.
McCormick over Chase?
I'm getting Chase Brown.
Chase Brown?
I'm not playing McCormick over Chase Brown.
No, he's just too involved in the offense in all facets.
Anybody named Chase never sits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which Chase.
Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, either one.
But yeah, so I have Lamb and Mooney would start. So Lamb, Mooney, Chase Brown. How many guys are we trying to play here? Or is that just his lineup?
I don't know. I think he's just kind of.
Because then he also says he has McBride and Denver defense.
Yeah. Do I have a chance?
Yeah, Quincy, go. You always have a chance, man. Always have a chance. Because, even in a serious note, right? You saw that, okay, Cooper Kupp gave you a bagel. That doesn't mean that now someone on his team, her team, puts up the same type of bagel in whatever the circumstance may be, whether it be bad performance or whether it be injury. So yes, of course you have a chance. Or one of your rock star goats in your lineup just absolutely just shoots to the moon, where that player accounts for the production that you lost with Kupp.
Yep.
So of course
anything can happen. Last week, Sam Darnold threw a career high 5 touchdowns. Anything can happen, and I lost by like 2 points in a league.
Until the game is over, like I swear, take the projections from whatever site you use and throw them all the way down the street, across the street, because they honestly mean jack shit. Mm-hmm. I hate projections in the matchups. I think they're the stupidest thing.
Let me give you another example.
They mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. If somebody comes out and scores 30 points, those things, it just is. I hate the projections, and I think people look at them, especially when they're down, and they're like, oh, I have no chance. But it means nothing. What if McBride has a 12-catch game and finally finds the end zone twice, which a guy who gets 10 to 15 targets could easily do? You're sitting you're all of a sudden, this thing is different.
I'll give you another example real quick. And this is somebody that we all know, but will remain anonymous. Okay. They got a DM from Sleeper on Tuesday, I believe, that congratulations. You were one of 5 people that had a 1% chance of winning their matchup going into Monday Night Football that wound up winning. Who was the player?
Jamar Chase.
No, just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, a couple weeks ago.
Josh
Allen.
Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
So that had Jerry Jeudy starting in their lineup. Okay, 1, 2. There were 5 people that were losing their match. 99% were supposed to lose. By the end of the game, they won. They had a 1% chance of winning before kickoff. In a
matchup where, okay, yes, Chase, Allen, sure, and I know Judy's been good. In a matchup that people were trying to sit Jeudy.
It happens.
They were playing Denver. So, like, you're just to add to the, you just.
It happens. It happens.
Until you're down 75 going into Monday night with only Darnell Mooney.
Can you imagine for Sleeper to actually send you a message like that? Like, congratulations, you were one of 5 people that had a 1% chance of winning before the game and wound up winning.
So look at that comment, right? Look at that, Jonsey, right? Like Gibbs, Monty, and Charbonnet. Like the tide could swing if they run the ball like we think they will. And then Charbonnet's the single back for Seattle. There's a world where that's 70 points right there. Obviously on
that's a very good trio to have.
Yeah, I mean on a high week, you could be getting 70 points right there.
Nope.
So
Neighbors,
Jones,
Aaron Jones,
Aaron Jones,
Neighbors and
Sharp for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think Neighbor scares me a little bit, but
he does
scares me for the same reason.
It's the same. Baltimore,
it's kind of the same thing as Tyrone Tracy, kind of the same. That the Ravens are expected to just absolutely put it on the Giants, where like there's no reason for top line starters to be playing in this game come the third, fourth quarter almost.
I just think Neighbors is gonna see 10+ targets no matter what happens in this game.
I hope I'm wrong.
The flip side of that is Aaron Jones gets a Bears run defense that isn't very good. Yep. Minnesota could be steamrolling this game. Could see a lot of Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones also limited. Did he full practice today? He was limited yesterday.
It's the story of his career. limited.
That's not really true.
I know. Look,
he's played more games than people with that injury narrative right off on him. But
I'm not a huge fan. I never have been. But yeah, you know what? It's time for me to start putting a little bit more respect on the man. He has had a pretty solid career. It's a pretty decent. It's an above decent season for Aaron Jones in Minnesota. He's not doing any Zach Charbonnet work for you. I can promise you that. He's not doing he's not even doing anything close to,
But he could though. I mean, the Bears' strength of their defense is the pass defense. They're weak against the run, and that's where Aaron Jones could flourish.
And it's 15 to 20 touches, right? Like it's the ball in his hands 15 to 20 times as opposed to 10 targets.
Right. Targets. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that they're 10 catches or 10 targets.
What I'm saying, I don't see this. I mean, obviously, Justin Jefferson can go off any week, but I'm not looking at this game and saying, oh, this is going to be a 5-touchdown Sam Darnold game. I'm looking at this more of a run the ball, control the clock, divisional, hard-nosed football.
Well, he had 100 yards. He had 100 yards at Chicago with the touchdown, I believe. Addison also had a big game. They scored 30 points. They'll probably score 30 points again. I think that you see the whole team probably having a good game unless they just have a letdown, right? I mean, Minnesota.
I mean, so Jay Goat takes Aaron Jones, RB2, alongside Zach Charbonnet. It's not a bad combination. These are both solid performances. Malik Neighbors he'd probably be the odd man out here, although I don't like it. I think you can make up your half PPR or PPR out of one of these running backs. Or both of these running backs, actually, since they both are capable of catching the ball. So I think I would take those two. And be okay with that. I bet you there's another running back in the mix here as well, though, that he's not telling us because he doesn't need to.
Could be.
So where are you, Jones and Sharp too, Jonesy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started saying Neighbors, but after all of our conversation and what I said
myself. And Neighbors is never, a horrible play. I mean, seems to be consistently getting, 50 yards, 60 yards, something like that a game. A few 4, maybe 5 catches. I mean, he seems to have a good floor. I just don't know what his ceiling is, with that quarterback situation.
With Tommy Cutlets?
Yeah.
And if Neighbors scores and Jones doesn't, that's probably the scenario that Neighbors outscores him. But are there really, who has a better chance?
Is that even going to be a lot? If Neighbor does 5 for 60 and a touchdown, Aaron Jones runs for, 80 yards and catches another 30 and a touchdown,
Yeah, and I think Jones is the touchdown guy, right? Like what's your confidence 1 through 10 on Aaron Jones getting in the end zone? And what's your confidence 1 through 10 on Neighbors getting in the end zone?
I'd say both
much higher with Jones.
Much higher, right?
they're both about the same.
To me, I would say Neighbors is like 2, and I would give Jones probably a 5. And Charbonnet probably like a 92 because he's playing the Packers, and the Packers will let him look like a Hall of Fame running back.
Play the volume of the carries and the touches for Jones plus the matchup.
All right, a little rapid fire here.
Where are we, Jay? Jay Goat. Wish you the best of luck, Jay Goat. Hey guys, if you are new to this channel, just joining us right now, please give us a like. Please subscribe. We're almost at the Fantasy Football Championships. We appreciate all the support that you guys have shown us throughout the season, and we look forward to being with you guys in the offseason and in all through 2025. Tommy Goat. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see anyone on there that I don't like, honestly. So
yep.
There he is. But with Cup putting up a good that sometimes luck works out for you. It's not always like unluck.
Yes, Trevor. we saw that comment. So
we kept it rolling, baby. The thing sometimes the football just is more important, baby.
Wide receiver 2 spot, Jerry Jeudy, Jonathan. Wide receiver 2 and the flex. Jeudy, JT, Flowers, Brian Thomas Jr.
I had a feeling we were going to get some JT. I had a feeling.
So yeah, on a side note with JT, isn't he like probably the most, or at least one of the most this week, where like you see his name and you're like, oh, of course I'm playing him, and then when you start to think about it, you're like, I don't know, man, he's kind of a scary play.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of feel like that for sure. I feel like that with a couple of people.
Are you like that, Jonsey? Are you confident in the name Jonathan Taylor right now, or are you?
We have to try to remove that, like the name brand off of the player.
So with that, regardless of this specific one, as we will get it right into the Trevor one, but like just him in general, is he just like still in that must start category for you, Jonsey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, over the year, he's averaged 14 points a game.
Yeah.
So the last game before the bye, he scored 17. Couple games before that, 3 points, 7 points. Scored 14 before that, then almost 9, then 18. I mean,
he just always has that.
He's had some down games, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
14, averaged 14 points. I mean, like, that's got to be like
15 points. 15 points is what you want your position players to get on your team. That's what you want. If you can get 15 points out of all your starters,
right,
minus your quarterback, you're probably going to win a championship.
It's also what we thought with Richardson at quarterback, with what he could vulture away, that might keep Taylor from that top tier, right? Is that he's not getting a Flacco type quarterback to hand him the ball off every time or even dump it to him. He's got Richardson who takes away a little bit. So I think going into the year, 15 was about what we thought Taylor would. That's what you wanted. So I guess, he could just do so much more. He's so good. But anyway, to Trevor specifically here.
Go ahead, give it to him.
So 2 players, right?
But we have to pick a wide receiver. So it's Jeudy, Flowers, Brian Thomas.
Yeah, 3 wide receivers. Yeah, we're picking one regardless, right? Because
because it's a wide receiver spot, so we have to do a wide receiver.
Brian Thomas has been really good and targeted the last couple of weeks, as bad as Mac Jones has been.
2 seed, but playing this week? No. I mean,
Flowers has kind of disappeared, and I expect a lot of King Henry in this game. I don't know how much Baltimore has to throw the football. I think I ruled Flowers out because of that. So I think it's Taylor and then either Jeudy or Thomas. And I mean, if you look at Thomas the last couple of weeks, he really has been very involved. They got the Jets,
Yeah.
Overall, the pass defense is still pretty good, but
you could expect Sauce to be back, I believe.
Sauce. There's more name in Sauce than there is.
If there's going to be a game, maybe it'll be next week actually. But if there is going to be a game or 2 that could salvage this dude's season, it's gonna come against one of these next few teams. I can see that.
And the thing with the Jets' pass defense is, I know last week they weren't good, but the Jaguars aren't A-Chain Hill, Waddle, and Tua. It's Mac Jones and Brian Thomas, and no Ingram, right?
Mac Jones without Ingram.
I don't know if that helps or hurts Brian.
You got strange. Stranger things have happened. I would probably do here full PPR. He wants a wide receiver 2. I'm gonna have a hard time sitting. I know Zay Flowers hasn't been doing well, but I think he's expected to do well. I think Zay Flowers. I would do Zay Flowers and the flex. Oh God, and JT. I would do Zay Flowers and JT here.
I think I would go Brian Thomas and JT.
Trevor Goat. I wish you the best of luck.
And I'm Brian Thomas. Let me help you out a little bit. I'm Brian Thomas over Zay. I don't know if I'm Brian Thomas. Judy's been so good.
He has. I just don't trust the game flow.
We know you want nothing to do with the Browns this week. I think that's been clearly established. And I get it. It's hard for me to sit Judy. I'm going to go. I'm going Judy and Taylor.
So we know Taylor, Trevor, is your flex.
And you just got to trust your gut or trust one of the three of us on.
One of the three of us will be correct and 2 of us will be wrong.
Let's go. Quincy Goat, man. Would you start McCormick over Tracy? Am I jumping ahead? Would you drop Ferguson over Strange? No, I wouldn't drop Ferguson for Strange. Stranger things have happened, though.
I still like Ferguson's chance at the end zone. Probably
it was Tracy. I don't know what that's for. Not sure. Opponent is starting Addison and Jefferson. I can start Bo Nix or Darnold. If they're starting Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, I'm playing Sam Darnold. Because that way, any production they're getting, any touchdowns, any yards, you're getting it too.
And even if Darnold struggles a bit, that only means that Addison and Jefferson, either one of them does okay or both struggle, right? So,
yeah. I mean,
I'm all right with the strategy now. I am. It could backfire, without question. But I'm okay with it now, considering that it's week 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so Quincy was saying not Chase Brown; he meant Tracy, which would be go back to McCormick over Tracy, which we
we're still going Tracy.
Didn't want to do unless Madison was out.
Appreciate you, Quincy. Go
Addison or Waddle. Breece Hall, my flex. Or would you start one of these guys in your flex?
I mean, you got the dude coming off of 3 touchdowns. Jordan Addison has been playing well, but so Jalen Waddle's been playing well also.
You could play them both, he's saying.
Yeah. They both. I mean, Jalen Waddle's definitely been playing better, and Jordan Addison, we know, is playing. Is they're both almost. They're probably ranked right next to one another, to be honest with you, and I'll check.
They're pretty close. I think, like, if you go like Fantasy Pros, I think they're maybe 2 spots apart, 3 spots maybe.
Well, I got to DK Metcalf. I went too far down.
Watch it. The disrespect. This will probably be the week Metcalf goes off.
Yep, I'm starting him.
Maybe I didn't go too far down.
I'm glad I played Jawan Jennings and sat Metcalf.
I got Jalen Waddle here. I got Jalen Waddle coming in Wide receiver 31. Wide receiver 31, Jordan Addison 28.
So 3 spots,
Yeah. I mean, you got it. It's being reported that Hall is going to suit up, but how much can you trust that? Like if he's going to suit up, he's going to play. I don't know how effective he's going to be. I don't know if playing Breece Hall on flex isn't terrible. It could get worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse for you. You don't apologize, Quincy.
Sit one, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Monty.
You would take the one that I was going to say. You could take the one that's not the pass catching running back, but yet David Montgomery's been catching passes.
And what did you guys decide on that last one? Waddle, Addison, Hall. Did we really give him an answer?
I would go with Breece Hall.
Yeah, I mean, first you got to figure out if Breece is playing. If he is, I think you got to play him.
So then Addison or Waddle,
and then I'm going Waddle.
Okay, because if Breece doesn't play, you just
and then it's just those two. Right. And if you're not comfortable with Breece coming off, that injury and not knowing what I would be okay with you starting Addison and Waddle.
Okay.
And just
I'm right just on the same page with you.
Throwing Breece to the bench and just,
Yeah, I think if you're one of those types that's like, I don't like playing off the injury and I don't want to lose because a guy plays and goes right out and these two guys have produced, I'm good with that. That's cool. I didn't know if we really gave him that much of an answer, but I'm right with you on that one.
I'm not quite sure how injury it really is. I think it's like more like, okay, very precautionary, very cautious, very careful with the dude's knee. Is it when they've said that if he's healthy, they're going to run him into the ground? Like, why would they have sat him out to begin with then? It is the Jets. That's the answer. No, that's part of it. Part of it is organizational, yeah, and the other part of it is like they don't. I don't think they are attempting to be like somewhat conservative with the dude, yeah. But like if he's okay to play, I think they're going off of him as well. I think like it's not like they're going off of like medical.
Yeah, it always comes down to the player.
I think they're going off of him. I don't know. I don't know if it always comes down to the player. Well, it also comes down to the training staff as well.
It comes down to the player saying, yes, I feel good, and the doctor has to clear them also. But if the doctor clears them and the player says, I don't feel like I'm good enough to go, they're not playing the player.
Right.
Because you could be medically cleared and not ready to play.
Who's next?
Sit one, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Monty.
Oh, God.
To me,
probably Gibbs. That's terrible. It's terrible to say. Probably. The Lions backfield, you cancel one out. Cancel one out. Which one?
I know Monty's been involved in the past. I don't know if I can sit Monty over. I don't know if I can sit Gibbs over Monty.
I know.
Honestly, does he just sit Charbonnet and just roll with Gibbs and Monty? That way you're getting all the production, which is usually pretty good for both of them anyway. I mean, it's not like you're talking, Aaron Jones and Cam Akers. You're talking two guys that are top 12 running backs.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't do that.
Replace Monty's name with Kyron, and you would say start them both. Kyron's not that much different than Montgomery.
You're potentially leaving a lot of points on the bench with Charbonnet. That's the only thing. What the difference is between one of the lines, which one, versus the points with Charbonnet?
That's what
I don't know.
You got to,
I
play
don't
devil's
know.
advocate here and choose which line's running back you're going to sit if you're playing Charbonnet. So really, what do you think that game flow is going to be? Are they going to hold the Bills and control the clock? If you think it's that, then you're playing Monty. If you think they're not going to be able to hold the Bills, then that's going to be a high scoring game. You're probably going to want to play Gibbs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, and I'm a little more on the side that I think Buffalo puts up points. Not that Detroit doesn't try to do what you're saying. I think they do. I just think to the point of Buffalo being the offense they are, and you've got, Cooper getting involved. You got Coleman coming back, Kincaid coming back. Like, they're pretty high powered. I love Monty. It's so hard for me to even picture a scenario sitting Monty, but if you don't want to go with the guys on the same team, then I think I'm going Gibbs and Charbonnet, because Gibbs is the guy. Gibbs has the higher ceiling, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Charbonnet has the highest ceiling.
Of Gibbs and Monty, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Of Gibbs and Monty. So I think, if like
I thought
Walker doesn't
Charbonnet
play,
has the lowest floor too.
You got Gibbs that's, running routes, all sorts of creative running back routes. I know. Monty's been getting the ball. I know.
And he's 3 for 30 in the air, and he's 50 on the ground no matter what. It's 11 points to start your day without a touchdown and anything else.
Yeah. Usually in the first quarter.
7 carries on the first drive last week, or the week, whatever it was. I think it was, I mean, it's like.
I get it.
But you're sitting, then you're sitting the guy who's got the backfield to himself, who also does, runs and catches passes. So, I think you have to have Charbonnet on the field. I think you have to have Charbonnet in your lineup as long as Walker's out, right? I guess I go give Charbonnet if Walker, Walker plays, makes it easy for you. You play the two lines.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He's doubtful.
I know, doubtful. Yeah, but
he's doubtful.
Yeah, they don't need to run Walker out there partially injured like I think they did last year a little bit, because I think they trust Charbonnet, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I mean, especially after this season so far. Earlier in the year, I believe week 1 or 2. Charbonnet had the whole entire backfield to himself, and then there were 2 weeks early in the season he did I think it was week 2 and week 3. Had solid games, so he shows the coaching staff that he could do it, and then look what happened last week. So yeah.
So who are you guys playing? Who are you going with?
I would probably want Charbonnet and Gibbs. I would want Gibbs out of the two Lions.
Jonsey?
Give me the dude that's running routes. And I know Monty's kind of running routes also now.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go Charbonnet and Monty. Just because
there's no wrong answers here.
Yeah. Look, I mean, like I said before, Gibbs. I mean,
there kind of is a wrong answer, but there is no wrong answers.
Gibbs and Montgomery are, running back 10 and 11. I mean,
yeah,
it's not like you're, you really can't make a wrong choice almost, between the two. I think Montgomery gives you a safer floor, and then Charbonnet gets you that crazy ceiling.
Makes sense.
But like I said, Charbonnet to me has the lowest floor also out of all 3 of these. So you're taking that risk of Charbonnet putting up a, 8-point game or something like that. which I don't think happens, but and then Gibbs and Monty, we know what they're getting. They're getting 15 usually every week.
That would probably that would be catastrophic to most. Catastrophic.
It would, and I don't think that's possible, but out of these three, that's the up and down of all of them, you know. But I'm still rolling Charbonnet, but I'm going to pair him with the safer option, I think, in Monty over Gibbs.
Yeah. There we go.
Appreciate you, Trevor.
John's full participant. Yeah. Fumbled 4 games. Fumbled 4 games in a row.
Stinks. Well, he doesn't stink.
But he's still going to get 15 to 20 touches.
One more for the Quincy Goats. Would you start McCormick over Tracy? Guys, it was Chase Brown. Yeah, we thought it was Chase Brown, right? Playing Monday night. Let's go, Goats.
Yeah, Quincy. Yeah, we said Tracy over McCormick. Just to recap it for you.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more upside in McCormick's play.
There's too many question marks with McCormick with Madison.
Billy Madison?
Yeah. Back to school.
Cheetah. Mooney. Oh, what a feeling. Josh Downs, A-Chain, Cook, and Tracy.
Bench 1.
1, 2. Wow. I definitely want Thielen. I definitely want the running backs here, I suppose, and Cheetah.
To me, it comes down to Downs and Mooney.
Yeah, I don't think, without knowing for sure who will draw their Sertan assignment, it makes it hard to start Josh Downs right now.
Isn't Mooney dealing with something though again? And
he was dealing with something last week. They said too, though. I don't know if it's any different. He seemed to be,
because that scares me with Darnell Mooney because he's Monday night or whatever.
And that and Cousins.
Monday night Mooney was a full participant today.
Okay.
Let's get all the points on Sunday.
Which on a Monday night, that's good news on a Friday.
Let's get all these points on Sunday. We're going to sit Darnell. Or is it Downs? Is it Darnell or Downs? It's going to be one of those two.
Yeah. I think I'm sitting Downs.
Yeah, I think if Mooney's good to go, no question, no injury report, I'm playing Mooney and sitting Downs.
Yeah, that's where
and the rest of me are all easy yeses.
And yeah, I get it. We spoke on this. Let's go. About an hour ago, that it may not be the best game script at all. We don't think it's going to be a good game script at all for Tracy. However, if there is some hope, some positivity out of the situation, it's either A, they get Tracy going early, or B, there's a favorable turnover that could lend to the Giants' favor, and they could get him that way. C, it still might be full volume for this man. He may not leave the field at all, even in a shitty situation, in a shitty game script. There's things that we could look at where Tyrone Tracy is the play, but I could also make the case as to why he's not. Why it's kind of not the best play. So if this is a PPR situation, or even a half PPR situation, well, what would be better for Tyrone here? PPR.
I mean, Tracy's probably touching the ball twice as much, though. That's just hard to 15 touches to 5 touches.
If the Ravens are up 34 to 3 in the middle of the third quarter, I don't think we're going to see any of these guys playing. I really don't. It's going to be ugly. But that's only one score. What if it's not? What if it's not 34-3? What if it's 28-7? That's a different story. 28-7, something like that. Then Tyrone Tracy's going to continue to be out there, and they're going to look to at least try to upset them.
So we're sitting. Oh, this is the same.
Yeah. So we're sitting downs, right?
Sitting downs. Yeah.
Unless, I mean, Downs had a show. Downs practiced too, but he is questionable with his shoulder. He's not going to play. But
there you go, Mr. Magic Goat. I'm sitting on a bye. First pick of the draft. Without my first draft pick in CMC, imagine if I had him still, man. Yeah, I can imagine if you had him, if he was healthy, it would be a different situation. Yeah, I imagine that.
Yep. Would you drop Nick Westbrook-Akine for Romeo Doubs or Elijah Moore, and who to start in the flex?
Yes, I would drop him.
The first answer is yes. I'm dropping him for sure.
We don't need
for which one?
We don't need
who starting.
I mean, again, it goes back to probably the Njoku. Elijah Moore's been the topic of like if Njoku doesn't play, I like the 8 targets that Moore probably gets, and I'm not as scared of. I mean, probably Elijah Moore. If Njoku doesn't play, then probably Moore, just because I don't know really what's going on with Dobbs right now. We've talked about Jaden Reed. We know what Josh is. We see Christian Watson getting involved.
Probably.
We know Tucker Kraft is there.
Yeah, I think Dobbs and Moore could get similar production, but I think Moore is going to get more targets, possibly. Yeah. So that I would maybe give him the edge there.
Probably returns to his Romeo Doubs role, right? A handful of catches, four maybe 60 yards, if that. Maybe they get him in the end zone. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean Romeo is. I think 5-6 targets average probably per game.
I think they like Romeo Doubs. They like him as a receiver. This was always going to be the problem, even going into the season.
Yep.
A lot of mouths to feed. This was always going to be the issue.
Kraft or Ferguson?
Tucker Craycraft.
Agreed.
Tucker Craycraft.
Gibson Charbonnets.
I think Trevor's answering.
Yeah, are. Oh, is it supposed to snow in Buffalo? Are they playing in Buffalo?
No, they're in Detroit, I think.
Yeah, they're in Detroit.
What happened the last time it snowed in Buffalo?
Yeah. And the thing about the receiving is it's tougher just because how much Monty's been involved in the passing game. Like last year would have been like, okay, passing work, all Gibbs. But recently Monty's been a lot more involved in the passing game. He's out there getting catches, and so that adds to his value.
Really, all year. I mean, I'm looking at the whole year right now, and I mean, hell, 6 Gibbs to Monty, 6-5, 4-3, 3-3, 1-3, 3-2, 2-3, 1-1, 4-4. I mean, they're the same.
Yeah, Gibbs is not the same dominant receiving back compared to Montgomery like he was last year. He just is.
It's Monty has morphed into the role that we thought Gibbs was going to fully take over or take on for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Just being this pass catching running back, this explosive running back, where we thought that Monty was only going to be like this first and second down power in between the tackles in the red zone type of running back, where now Monty's playing it all. He's playing all facets of the game.
Yeah, the bottom line is they're Sonic and Knuckles, but they both have some Knuckles and Sonic in them.
Yeah,
which makes them so damn scary,
Excellent analogy from the Wolf himself. My opponents. All right.
If Njoku's out, half-point PPR, Ertz or Freiermuth?
Galactic Ghoul.
I'm going Ertz probably.
Yeah.
I think Ertz has a better chance of scoring a touchdown than Freiermuth.
Yeah, I would take Zach Ertz here.
I'm a little
with Jaden Daniels over Pat Freiermuth, Russell Wilson, and Arthur Smith. Because Arthur Smith could dial up Cam Hayward also, and I don't trust that at all.
Darnell Washington. I mean, yeah, Muth isn't.
That's what I mean.
Muth got the touchdown last week, but I think he only had 3 catches. Like they're not. They just have no offense. I mean, they're gonna throw the ball to somebody, and the Eagles' corners are just. I mean, what is Pittsburgh gonna do offensively? And Washington, there's a part of me that. Like they should be able to run the ball really well too in this game and not need to throw. But man.
It's also the tight end position.
I know.
This is a complete crapshoot.
I look at the Commanders getting a lot more scoring opportunities than the Steelers, and that's where I go to Ertz. He's just going to have more opportunities to be the one that gets a touchdown. Where Muth, maybe he gets one chance, maybe 2. I don't see them throwing up 30 points in this game or anything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in Ertz, I mean, he's still 8, 7, 8, 6 targets. Like he's good. He's out there. I mean, I just see that garbage touchdown, ugly touchdown that Muth gets because there's nobody else. But I just see it, right? I just see the Eagles dominating, and then they do get that chance. There's nobody else. They cover the outside, they cover the run, and it's Freiermuth. But like, I don't want to bank on that. You know, so I agree. I think Ertz is the more consistent, targeted player, a better offense, more scoring opportunities. I think the process says Ertz. It'll be ugly if it's Muth.
Breece Hall or Rome Odunze half PPR.
Bakes a lot goat.
I mean, I'm going. If Breece plays, I'm playing Breece.
If Breece plays, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's not chase the 2 touchdowns out of Rome Odunze.
No, and I think, you know, the thing about the Bears, too, I mean, Odunze, Allen, and Moore, all 3 of those guys have had 8+ targets, averaged 8+ over the last 4 games. Chicago has to throw. So, like, it's okay if you have to play one of those guys. I mean, obviously, you're playing DJ Moore, but, like, it's not the worst thing in the world to play any of those 3 in this game. In my opinion, like, you're probably looking at 8 targets apiece, and they're going to need to throw. So, don't feel bad if you are rolling him out. But I think, Breece plays, it's Breece.
Well, that just right to the last part that you just mentioned. I mean, it's Odunze or Breece. So I mean, this isn't a difficult decision.
No.
If he's active, that's it. All right, gentlemen, are we almost wrapped up here? I can smell my oven burning. No, I'm joking. That's not true.
Yeah, that's about it.
Is it?
Yep.
Are you sure? All right, very good.
Yeah, everything else is just kind of. Oh wait, hang on.
Benching downs.
Would you start?
I have Isaiah.
No. Would you start Davis over Mooney if Breece doesn't play? No.
No.
No, because you still got Braylon Allen in that equation.
I could see people being real disappointed if they play Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen gets the touchdowns, you know, like if Breece doesn't even play, which it seems like he's going to play anyway. So that's an even more far-fetched. Kirk likes Mooney too much, man. If he's out there, he just, And Andrew Luck fell off. That's the last comment.
Yeah. All right, guys. Fantastic.
Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate it. We love seeing you guys all here. Let's get some championships.
Yeah, it's championship season. Yeah, awesome time, awesome stuff. SoCal Wolf, you have any final words or any remarks or anything that you'd like to say or share or plug or anything along those lines?
Oh man, just keep tuning into this just keep tuning into this channel, man. When I get the opportunity to join you guys,
is that it? Yeah. All right.
I don't got to plug nothing, man, unless I'm on here. That's it, man. You want to check out where I'm at, you can follow my X. It's at SoCal Ball Nerd. You'll see where I'm live on some other channels.
Right there.
But these are the guys. These guys are putting in the work. I usually listen a lot, right? And so I'm just grateful to be on and talk football with you guys, man. I'm hoping that the amount of time and energy put into our options here and our decisions will pay off, man. Trust the process. Even if the process doesn't work out this week, the process works out more than it doesn't. So keep trusting the process. That's it.
And until then, our process continues tomorrow night, 7:00. Tomorrow is Saturday. That's right. On the eve of week 15. Until
San
then,
Diego, Mr. Bakes a lot. That's me. He said, where are you at?
Nice.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's
see you, goats. Goats. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
We don't see you tomorrow. We'll see you. We'll see you on the victory side of things.
The
Good night, guys.
Flip.